ready now.
All right, ladies
Almost
and gentlemen,
forgot
we're ready to go
almost
with
forgot
bout number 2 of the evening here at the Holiday Inn in Liverpool, New York. Let's introduce our 2 fighters. We'll start in the blue corner. He weighs in at 234 pounds, wearing the black shorts with red trim. He fights out of Amsterdam, New York, and enters the ring with no wins, 4 losses, and no draws. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Raymond Santiago. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He weighs in at a solid 296 pounds, wearing red shorts with black trim. He fights out of Geneva, New York, and this is his pro debut. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Paul Delong. This will be 4 rounds in the heavyweight division. Your man in charge of the action when the bell sounds, Rich Pagowski.
When I look at these young heavyweights, Eric, you know, it's safe to say, you know, in the landscape of the heavyweight division, you not only got to have the weight, but you also have to have the size, the height. You know, and both of these guys are compact fighters.
Very compact.
Yes.
Santiago's 5'10".
Right. Well, here we go. We have Paul Delong is in the red trunks with the black trim, or you might even say they're black trunks with red trim, and Raymond Santiago in the solid black trunks. And, you know, usually when the big guys fight, everybody's looking for a knockout.
Not going to be a lot of punches thrown in this fight just because of the size disadvantage for both guys. Like you said, both guys are compact, they're chubby, and they're not going to be throwing 70 punches around, so each of them knows that, so they're going to be looking to hurt each other with whatever punches they do throw.
Now, I was just going to say, and Ray just did it, I was just going to say, you know, you look at 2 fighters like this that clearly have some extra padding around the midsection. Wouldn't you think that part of the game plan would be to work the body, or do you think that the fear of, you know, a power punch that, you know, Paul Delong just tasted one from Ray, you know, do you think that they're more concerned with that, or do you think they should work the body?
I don't subscribe to the fact that just because a guy is overweight that you can hurt him to the body. It's just the way you are. I mean, I've seen guys that are chiseled and they get hit in the body and they are obviously hurt and they can fold up. And the opposite is true. You know, some guys you say, oh, you know, he's got all this padding, you can hit him, you can't hurt him. It just depends on the person.
You're
it
right.
just depends on how their body reacts.
Well, I'll tell you one thing right now. Even though he hasn't won his a professional fight yet, Raymond Santiago is clearly the more experienced guy in the ring. You know, technically, Paul Delong is not protecting himself. His hands are down, and Ray Santiago is taking advantage of it. He's seemingly nailing him at will in the face.
It's another guy with who's been more active. Paul Delong hasn't had a fight in over a year. He's been, like I said, he's been boxing for 10 years, but he had less than 15 amateur fights. He's in and out of the gym. The last significant amateur fight that he had was in the Empire State Games, which is sort of the state version of the Golden Gloves of New York, and that was in 2008. And, you know, Ray's had 4 professional fights, and they've been all recent.
Right, right. Well, you know, I think, like anything, I mean, you got to do it. You know, you know, if you want to be a fighter, you gotta do it. You know, you got to be in the gym. You got to dedicate yourself. Even if you're doing other things. You know, boxing is a sport that needs the dedication. You know, and Paul Delong looks like he, you know, it almost looks like he's a wrestler. Like he's lifted weights at one time. You know, he just seems, you know, that kind of build. You know.
Look, in this first round, we saw that Ray's very relaxed. He's very comfortable in there. He's not going to burn a lot of energy because of that. It's Paul's first pro fight. He's nervous. He's burning some energy. And I think Santiago has a huge advantage right now because he thinks that he can do what he wants in there.
I think Ray Santiago is the more talented of the two. And I think you're right. I think that you hit perfect. I think that the bottom line is that he's got a confidence factor that is leaking through. I'd like to thank our sponsors again. Of course, this whole night wouldn't be made possible without JKJ Championship Promotions, as well as Tony Graziano's Restaurant in Canastota, New York. We're getting ready for the second round of our second fight. This one's in the heavyweight division. Paul Delong is in the red trunks with the black trim, and Raymond Santiago in the solid black trunks as we get ready to start round number 2. And just like you said, Eric, you can see the confidence factor with Ray.
Yeah, look, what DeLong has to do is he has to land one big shot to turn this fight around and to get into the fight and get himself into the fight, so to speak. Because right now he knows he's behind. He knows the guy is toying with him a bit, and that can get discouraging unless you land something good.
But, the one thing that and I hate to sound like a broken record, but the one thing that's glaring to me is how low DeLong keeps his hands. I mean, it's very hard for him to protect himself when his hands are down there like this. And Ray sees it too, because he's clearly trying to capitalize on that. You just, when a fight's this close to us, with these kind of guys, you just hope that the ropes are strong. When will fatigue become a factor? You think it's
I think DeLong is already tired.
Yeah.
And look, Ray knows that he can't fight at a high pace himself. But like I said, he's relaxed, so he's just picking his shots. So he's fighting. He's not going to get tired at any point during the fight because he's comfortable. Unless he gets tagged and Paul DeLong is able to turn this fight around with one punch, the fight's going to keep going like this.
Well, I've seen Ray fight a couple of times, and, although, like I said, he bleeds a lot, I don't ever remember seeing him really, really tired, But then again, he usually comes on in the second half of the fight. He usually throws more punches. I've never seen him, and I hate to use the word busy, but he has been fairly busy in this fight. And now Paul Delong has landed a couple of solid shots to get Ray Santiago's attention. But again, DeLong has got his hands down so low.
Like I said, Raymond's never been ahead in a fight before. Let's see how he handles it.
Yeah, well, he's looking for his first win. I have him listed as 0-4. I have another sheet that has him listed as 0-5. And to be honest with you, the last time I saw him, I thought he won the fight. So I thought he was, looking for his second win. So I'm confused, but again, another evenly matched fight. Nobody's getting blown out here. I think you're right. Paul Delong is gasping for air. And a fighter like Ray, if he had a little more experience, he'd be snapping that jab out a little more, because Paul Delong is ready to receive it.
So, this is where being a nice guy is a disadvantage, because Raymond is a nice guy. And he could put his foot on the gas a little bit and not necessarily take Paul Delong out. Paul Delong is a 296-pound man, and Ray might not have the power to get him out of there. But if he steps it up, he could wear him out, and he could stop him.
Right. Again, I want to take a minute to thank our contractors. If you're looking for any, our sponsors, if you're looking for any paving contractor, look no further than CFR Paving. Give them a call, 315-697-2547. And hey, listen, if you need any insurance, check out WMJ Fagan & Sons Insurance. They've been giving personalized insurance for over 100 years. Find out why. Give them a call, 518-272-3471. And I tell you, another interesting fight. As we get ready to enter our third round of a scheduled 4-rounder in a heavyweight division. Unofficially, I think that Ray is winning this fight, but I think you're right. Let's see. Is he going to take his foot off the gas? He's starting to talk a little smack to Paul Delong, and Paul Delong, I think, is biting and trying to talk back, and we'll see what happens. Somewhere, you know what, Eric? You know what keeps popping into my mind? Joey DeWedgeko for some reason. You know, and I don't know if.
Well, look, these guys might be making dinner reservations with each other afterwards.
Right. And speaking of dinner reservations, check out Graziano's Italian food. It's a knockout. Right in Canastota. Tell Tony Billy C sent you. 315-697-7690. Well, at least Paul's trying to work the body. But I tell you, when I see a fighter with his hands down like that, Eric, and again, I don't mean to be so repetitive, but it bothers me because that should be one of the first things you learn in the gym.
Correct. It's fundamentals. When you don't have your fundamentals down, it's hard for you to win a fight.
Right. You know, you know, you made an interesting point earlier. We're at a stage in the fight now where Ray Santiago has to know how to win a fight. You know, he's been losing close fights. His output level has been questioned. You know, and here he is seemingly ahead in this fight. Let's see if he can continue to stay on course.
You know, the risk he's going to run is if he doesn't have the killer instinct, so to speak, if he doesn't step on the gas, and Delong somehow is able to land a couple of punches, although he just took a hard one there, Delong could steal a draw from him. You know, if one of the judges or two of the judges see a couple of close rounds and they happen to like Delong rather than Santiago, even though we think Santiago's winning the fight, they may see it differently, and he'd have nobody to blame but himself because he should really step it up a little bit, even a half a step more as far as his output, and he would win no problem.
Yeah, I agree with you. And you know, Ray Santiago just had a baby. I know that. I don't know if it was his first or not, but I know the last fight I was at of his, he literally went from this ring to the hospital. So his baby was born. So, you know, maybe there's you know, if it was his first child, maybe he's fighting for more reasons now.
Absolutely.
Well, again, you know, nobody's overwhelming. You know, neither one of them are overwhelming each other. They both seem to also not mind taking a breather. You know, but we'll see. Like you said, I think Paul Delong is more tired than Ray.
And not only that, look, Ray is not punching as much, but every time Raymond Santiago punches, he hits Paul Delong every single time.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's got a better jab, and listen, you're looking for a Mason contractor, check out George A. Nolan Sons, 315-732-3165. And by the way, they do all general contracting, but they specialize in masonry work. And like I mentioned earlier, don't look any. If you're looking for a children's book series, check out Bible Tunes. It's written by Erin Nelson, and she does a really good job. So if you're kids or grandkids, or even if you know Floyd Mayweather and you want to get a good children's book series, check out Bible Tunes. www.bibletunes.tateauthor. That's T-A-T-E author.com.
You're saying Floyd Mayweather wouldn't be reading his children books?
Well, you know, don't get me started. Don't make me say what he's probably doing in front of his children. But it's all based on some accusations that 50 Cent made recently. Here we go, fourth and final round in the heavyweight division. Paul Delong making his pro debut. He's in the red trunks with the black trim. And Raymond Santiago in his fifth pro fight, looking for his first professional win in the solid black trunks. Like I said, Eric, I'm not an official judge, but I see this as a unanimous decision, at least at this stage of the fight.
Even if you've given Paul Delong the benefit of the doubt, you've maybe given him one round.
What round could it have been? Maybe the first round?
So I said maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of doubt.
Right.
So he would have to win this round to have a chance
at a draw.
Correct.
Right. Well, you know, I mean, when fighters are you know, undefeated and you know, they don't know what it feels like to lose, and then they suffer that first loss, it's an adjustment for them. I would have to think it's the same way for a fighter looking for their first win. You know, they lose to a couple of close fights, and they're like, they don't know what it feels like to win. And the way this round is unfolding, it looks like Ray is going to taste victory tonight.
Yeah, Santiago's finally stepping it up. He's finally doing what he should have done before, but he's doing it very impressively now.
Well, he might even get a stoppage. He's landing some shots, and Delong is not. He's almost not defending himself anymore. And like we were saying, you know, he doesn't keep his hands up. And Ray, like you said, is finally taking advantage of it, where he should have been doing the same thing earlier on.
Yeah, because Santiago's literally hitting him with every punch he throws.
Everyone. And you know, this is what I've seen from Santiago in the past, that he comes on strong in the last 2 rounds. Nice right hand that he just landed. Seemingly stunned Paul, but is it the punches or fatigue?
It's both. I mean, look, Ray Santiago is not a hard puncher, as we talked about before, but when you're tired, you know, a feather duster can knock you out.
That's true. And we got almost a minute to go. So, you know, I mean, if Ray is looking for, and Ray's huffing and puffing now too, but he needs to step it up. He needs to step it up. That was the first time I saw Paul Delong put his gloves up. They're both pretty tired. Ooh. And at this point, you would think Delong has got to be thinking knockout, but he's just too tired to, you know, you could tell that his arms are just heavy, you know.
Very game. He could have packed it in about a minute ago when he was getting pummeled. He's trying, but he just has nothing to get Santiago out of there with.
We got, well, for some reason they sounded the bell. I didn't hear it. We got a replay here of a solid shot from Santiago that, well, wasn't that solid. There's a solid shot, an uppercut, overhand right. He landed a couple there, but as you can see from the replay, Paul Delong was, he was tired in this fight, Eric.
Billy, look, I'm just counting the punches. He threw 11 punches, 13, 14. He's landing all of them.
Right.
I mean, he's not landing everyone clean, but he's making contact every time, not with the gloves, not with the arm, because like you said, he wasn't holding up his gloves or his arm to protect his face.
Yeah, you know, I think this is going to be another unanimous decision, but once again, we got to give props to Diana Rodriguez. She's matched a good fight, you know. I mean, there was no, you know, going into the beginning of this fight, it could have been either fight. You know, I think, listen, unofficially, I think that Raymond Santiago just got his first win of his pro career.
Absolutely.
Glad you could join us. I'm Billy C., joined with Eric Botcher, and we're coming at you live on BillyCBoxing.com, JKJ Championship Promotions. This whole event is being produced and distributed by LDLTV. Glad you could join us. Speaking of join us, don't forget about my show every single day, 5 to 7 p.m. Check it out, www.BillyCBoxing.com. We're going to go up to the ring announcer right now for the official announcement.
One more time for these 2 fighters as we bring them to center ring and go to the judges' scorecard. Judge Don Ackerman scores about 40-36. Judge Alan Nace scores about 40-36. And Judge Tom Schreck scores about 40-36 for your winner by unanimous decision. Fighting out of the blue corner, Raymond Santiago.
Here, Eric, and you know, I'm sure that's something that he's been waiting for a long time. And I think, you know, I agree with the judges. It was all 4 rounds went to him.
Not only that, it's nice to see, because normally a fella in his position who's 0-4 and who's had a couple of close, tough losses, and after 6 or 7 fights, when he hasn't won, he's discouraged and he's out of the game. This will help him out, and he'll continue his career, and hopefully he has more fights like this. Win or lose, he's competitive, and that's what you need at this level.
All right, listen, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back in about 2 minutes.